Round 1, fight. Well, LeBron James could be facing a ban after being ejected for his role in an incident which sparked a major skirmish, a brawl even, in Sunday's game between the Lakers and the Pistons in Detroit. It all went down in the third quarter as LeBron and the Pistons big man Isaiah Stewart jostled for a rebound from a free throw. LeBron caught Stewart with an elbow, leaving the Pistons big man bloodied and furious. Here's the sequence.
Jeremy Grant shooting the free throw. He's in there tangled up, and he inadvertently gets an elbow from LeBron. And I mean, there was no intentional elbow thrown there.
LeBron even reached out.
And that was the start of a 15-minute delay.
Dwayne Casey's like, just calm down. And there's Cade Cunningham also.
It was along the free throw line on the free throw, and he's still trying to get loose.
He is knocking over, and he's out of the game without question.
I mean, this
is like he's running through the line. That's nuts. That's just crazy right now.
That's just crazy.
That's crazy right now. And both coaching staffs are making sure that the players don't come out any further.
They're having a lot of trouble just trying to settle him down. I mean, his temper is just ridiculous. He'll probably do the old thing where he runs along the tunnel and comes out the other side.
Try to come out the other end.
That happened at Staples Center a number of years ago.
They are warning the Lakers bench to watch for him coming out the other side.
Well, LeBron hasn't been banned from playing since his senior year at St. Vincent St. Mary High School. That was back in 2003. Back then, he was punished for accepting 2 jerseys valued at $845, which was a violation of Ohio State amateur rules. Back to the game. With order restored, the game climaxed in a wild finish as the Lakers came from behind to win 121-116, courtesy of some big plays. You should see it, some really big plays from Anthony Davis, both sides of the floor. Joining us to discuss the big talking points is our analyst, Alister Albert. Alister, welcome to the program once again.
Good night, guys. Thanks for having me as usual. Thank you.
All right. So for a moment there, Alister, I thought Isaiah Stewart was Thurman Thomas. I hope you know your NFL. I suspect you do. Thurman Thomas, Jerome Bettis, Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith, running through the red mist descended, and he was determined, Alister, to get a piece of LeBron. We know how these basketball dudes go. We know they really don't want to fight because they know that they'll be separated by their teammates. But I get the sense, Alister, that Isaiah Stewart really, really wanted to fight on Sunday night.
He was seeing red, literally. You know, his blood was boiling hot. You know, it's streaming down his face after that forearm from LeBron on the free throw line, as we saw in that sequence. And yeah, he just didn't want to let up. And, you know, it's one of those things where I think I was wondering, looking at the plays, like Isaiah Stewart is like, you know, LeBron gets away with so many plays and, you know, he gets so many cheap calls from the referees. I'm not going to let him get away with it. I'm going to be the man to step up to him and kind of try to get at him or something. It was a remarkable sight. And of course, it's all shades of 2004 with the Malice in the Palace. And you know, you don't want to see nothing like that happening again. But it was just a very extraordinary circumstance. And unfortunately, he just couldn't be calmed, and it escalated to what it did.
Alister, the reason I'm a bit leggy on the show today, I woke up so early watching about 16 angles of this thing. So there's an overhead shot that I'm sure you would have seen, you're a man of research, where I'm watching LeBron's arm. Now, you and I know that from the positioning for the rebound at the free throw line, you're always trying to, the first thing to do is to shake off your marker. Shake off the man closest so you can free your arms, you can go either way, you can jump. I'm wondering if LeBron, if that was a deliberate arm, because the how I saw the arm go, Alister, because Isaiah Stewart was hit with the elbow and the fist in the one motion. I'm not sure. I'm not saying LeBron is a dirty player. He's not. He's a gentleman. I've met him personally. I think he's a wonderful human being. Get that out there first. But I'm wondering if that wasn't deliberate on Sunday night. The more I watch it, the less I'm minded to say it was an accident. What say you?
I looked at it multiple times, just like you did as well, and I'm kind of veering towards the other side why I thought it was inadvertent and a bit accidental. Because think about it, you're on a free throw line trying to box out to try to get a potential miss by Jeremy Grant, who was on the line at the time, right? They're both jostling for position, wait on each other. And in the fray to try to get loose, LeBron, you could see their arms kind of locked a little bit. And LeBron, in trying to push away, Isaiah Stewart is still pushing up on him. There's a moment where you see he kind of breaks, and in that momentum of Isaiah Stewart still pushing up on him and LeBron kind of pulling the other way, the momentum just carried his arm continuing into Isaiah Stewart's face. I don't think LeBron really even thought Isaiah Stewart's face was there. I think he was probably thinking that he would hit him on the forearm, the chest or something, and it was just a bad case of a wrong place in the wrong time for his face, unfortunately. I don't think it was deliberate. LeBron doesn't have a track record of being that type of dirty player. I think a lot of people are going back to his track record. It's only the second time he's been ejected. And, it was just a really unfortunate circumstance. And look at what happened exactly after. LeBron actually immediately kind of went towards him and like, oh, yo, my bad. I didn't mean to hit you in your face, sort of thing. So I don't think it was deliberate. It was just a really unfortunate basketball play, I think.
Who gets the longer suspension? Because now we move away from the discussion of, Isaiah getting hit in the face to the reaction. That's the talking point now, the way in which he reacted to the incident.
Yeah, his escalation of it, not trying to get off the court in a timely fashion, the amount of security, team personnel, teammates who are trying to get him off the court and kind of, relieve his tension in that situation. And he just wasn't having it. Like, we just called out a bunch of old-time running backs in the NFL, and he just didn't want to leave. I think, it's probably a 2-game suspension for Isaiah Stewart. And for LeBron, in the optics of the whole situation, a guy being bloodied up, it looks like a boxing match at the end of it. LeBron probably might get a game suspension, but I don't think, with my explanation of me saying that I don't think it was a deliberate act, I think he might just get away with a fine. And I don't think the NBA wants to see LeBron sit out the next game at Madison Square Garden against the New York Knicks. So when you think about business coming into play and, the stars being out of the court, LeBron has been out for quite some time. It'll be a very hard call for Adam Silver to decide, well, LeBron, you're going to be suspended. So we'll see if preferential treatment might come into play there again. But just based on what I saw, definitely Isaiah Stewart will get at least multiple games, I would think. And LeBron maybe one for the optics of it, but I don't even think he deserves it, to be honest.
Yeah, and what about Russell Westbrook? He also received a technical foul. What did you make of that? Because even Russell in the post-match interview said he didn't even know why he got that. He was confused.
Yeah, he was totally confused at the end of it all. But I think from some of the replays, you could see he left a position where he was totally away from the play, and then he rushed into it. So any player, even if you're on the court or off the court, on the bench or anything, once you rush into a melee going on the court at a time, any sort of escalation of fight, you're going to be awarded some sort of suspension. So I was a bit surprised by it because he was not the focus of what was going on. It was at the end when everything was handed down, you kind of realized, yeah, he kind of rushed into the situation as well. I'm wondering as well if DeAndre Jordan might get something because his hands kind of got into there as well, trying to hook on to Isaiah Thomas getting away from LeBron. So there's going to be a few disciplinary actions coming down from the NBA, and it'll be really interesting to see what they do with LeBron specifically.
Yeah, and LeBron's record, absolves him. I said I've met him as if, almost like, that sounded fanboyish. I've interviewed him.
Yeah, like your
twice.
buddy.
Yeah, so yeah, I spent a whole day at Cleveland Clinic with them when they had won the championship and were preparing for the new season. So I know what I'm talking about, and several All-Star games. So I know the man I'm talking about. And the fact is that the reason I'm wondering, I was thinking the way I did, Alister, is because how often in your time watching this game of basketball at the NBA level, or at any level, have you seen someone get their face busted up like that from a boxing out at the free throw? I rarely see it. You might catch somebody, or people catch people all the time, but I can't recall ever seeing a man busted up so badly. Which is why I'm wondering, if there was something more in it. I'm just saying.
It's a really rare play for something like that to happen. And the thing about it, thinking about guys lining up on the free throw line, LeBron was actually supposed to be boxing out Jeremy Grant, looking out for the shooter who shot the ball in case the ball misses so he could box out. Isaiah Stewart should have been boxing out a lot more aggressively towards DeAndre Jordan, who was at the front trying to corral a potential miss. But he was focused on bodying up LeBron. So in that whole situation, that was just unusual in that whole circumstance, just defensive lining up on a line. And he was boxing out on LeBron. LeBron was kind of like, bodies going against each other. He's trying to maintain his position and just momentum and swings, arms getting caught and everything. And that's what ended up happening. There's nothing really to compare it to. Those sort of cheap shots and those sort of things do happen in the game. But I think this one was just in the flow and accidental. The momentum and bodies and resistance and everything just ended up happening where a guy's face ended up getting hit out and bloodied up at the end of it.
Yeah. All right. In the short time we have left, Alister, look, the finish to the game was absolutely wild. How big was AD in those final 2 minutes? Blocking shot. There was a sequence where he blocked a shot twice. Yeah, two blocks, and then he ran up the floor and he finished the play. How big was he in those final 2 minutes last night?
The sense of urgency at that point was really impressive to see, but again, disappointing. Why did you guys have to get into that position to have to be, fighting and floundering to save the game as much as they did? But it was an outstanding sequence by Anthony Davis. Carmelo Anthony hit some clutch shots at the time. Russell Westbrook kind of came in and was being really aggressive going towards the rim and everything. But Cade Cunningham there kind of helped the Lakers in a sense, doing some rookie mistakes, trying to force the issue a little bit on offense, getting blocked by Anthony Davis at the top of the key and then trying to drive in again and getting blocked again. And like you said, Anthony Davis finishing the play on the other end. It was phenomenal focus to end the game on the run that they were. They were down 17 entering the fourth. But, just showing, that focus, that transcendent moment happening in the game, and they had to come together, rally. They just got beaten badly by the Celtics the last game. And they had to kind of show that, they had some sense of pride. And that's what kind of kicked in at that moment. It was nice to see them win the game at the end, but they should have never been in that position in the first place.
Yeah, shouldn't have put themselves in the hole. Alister, thank you very much. All the best to you.
Same to you guys. No problem.
Good. Alister Albert there, our analyst on the NBA. As we wrap, Sacramento Kings have parted company with head coach Luke Walton after the team won only 6 of their opening 17 games, which means, Mariah, that they lost 11. Yeah. That's bad. Veteran Alvin Gentry has been placed in temporary charge. These are the scores from Sunday's games. So the Clippers beating the Mavericks, the fight night in Detroit, Motor City. The Bulls keep on winning. The Bulls have a good team this year, people. So get your Bulls caps and your jerseys out. The Suns continue to shine, beating the Nuggets and the Warriors. The Warriors. Andrew Wiggins, a big night for him, beating the Raptors 119-104.